All right, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, welcome to Dockside at the Bay. As always, I'm Vinny along with my awesome co-host, Kim. Kim, how are you today?
Doing all right, Vinny. Doing all right. We're kind of starting to thaw out here in Chicago, but then we're supposed to get another cold snap. All I know is that it's like feels right to be having Christmas cookies and hot chocolate at the office, which I got to enjoy today.
And I've got my hot chocolate here as well. So, I'm enjoying the same thing. And this coming Sunday, baking some Christmas cookies.
Nice.
So, this episode will air on Thursday, December 18th. We're a week away from Christmas. We're actually recording it on the 10th. So, this past Friday night, we did have our awesome interview with Mike Manning. That is now up on all major podcast platforms as well as YouTube, and I did put up some shorts as well, especially the one about him working with Sir Anthony Hopkins.
Such a cool moment for him to share that with us. And it was so cool being able to chat the Bay in general with him and soaps and the industry. It was such a great conversation. He's such a cool guy. And yeah, Manifest Productions. Looks like they're putting out some really cool stuff. So
yes,
all good things.
Absolutely. A lot of good stuff coming out of everything right now in terms of the current soap operas, as we know, of General Hospital and Beyond the Gates, as well as, Bold and the Beautiful, Y&R. I'm not sure about Days, but I know B&B and Y&R are kind of stale a little bit. And Days, I think, is always out there.
Days is always out there. But I did see, and this was just a quick little, from what I can tell, it looks like Procter & Gamble has approved or is signing off on mini-sodes of a soap. Like it's late breaking sort of thing. I'm going to see if I can pull the article, but I just saw that. I was like, that's really, really cool. It could be that trying to bring another sort of soap into the market, so to speak.
Wow, that's actually pretty cool. I haven't seen anything of the sort about that, but it would be really good. But I also want to go ahead and point out that...
no, I'm sorry. It wasn't mini soap. Procter & Gamble apparently backing new soap opera consisting entirely of micro episodes. They didn't really get the headline, but...
Well, they might actually be doing something maybe geared towards YouTube or geared towards social media, where it's just put on X.
Says here, in January, they're planning to launch a 50-episode micro soap that will be made available initially via social and later a bespoke mobile app.
Bespoke, okay.
Variety. I don't know. They felt like you throwing some fancy lingo in the mix, but here we are. No, that's just in the soap opera realm and talking about like new and inventive things that are happening with, because, we've been saying all along, soaps aren't dead. And this is something like this just kind of proves our point.
Okay. So here's the information. I'm getting this from Yahoo Entertainment. So it's Native, which is the personal care brand marketed by Procter & Gamble, is actually producing a 50-episode microdrama inspired by soap operas. The scripted content series titled The Golden Pear Effect, PEAR. So it looks to me like it's going to be more of like a commercial, more of like a series of commercials that'll be one episode. Or so that will be one series. So that's actually a pretty cool.
It just shows that everything is cyclical. Because if you think about it, soaps were initially, designed to sell the ads for the soap, for the housewives back in the day, over the radio, everything is cyclical. That's kind of wild, now that they're just an interesting development. I just happened to see just now, and I just was like, wow, okay, this whole. I appreciate Procter & Gamble just trying to embrace. We see it with Beyond the Gates when they do all their little product placements with the was it Febreze and Hyde, and now I think Cascade was added to the mix. But even so, it's like harkening back to where soaps got their start, and they're trying to recapture that, and that's cool as hell. So
it really is. I agree. Also, want to send out a huge congratulations. Obviously, we're recording this on December 10th, so it's a little ways away. But also, I do want to go ahead and send a very big congratulations to Gregory Martin and the cast of The Bay, as this past Friday, as we were interviewing Mike Manning.
Yes,
they were having their season premiere party of season 10. So season 10 is now the season that's playing on Popstar every day. And congratulations to them for a great new season dropping. Very exciting stuff. Matter of fact, Kim and I were actually invited to go.
We were.
Unfortunately, because we would have needed the Garrett private jet to get back and forth away, on such short notice, since I'm in Connecticut and she's in Chicago. So it didn't work out.
But who knows? Maybe down the road, we can, I don't know, get enough likes and subscribers to maybe fund their travel plans to go and do a episode live from the premiere party or something like that.
Yes.
Down the
road.
We'll manifest that.
Yes, we will manifest that, which is the name of Mike Manning's production company, Manifest Production. So we're going to try to manifest getting to the season 11 premiere next year. All right. So today we're talking about season 7, episode number 6.
Yes.
And that's Familial
Connection, I believe was the title.
It wasn't the familial. It didn't have the L. It was Familia.
Oh. Well, you have better eyes than I do. Maybe my glasses are dirty.
I mean, either way, there was actually a lot of family drama in this episode. It was back and forth between Bay City and Puerto Rico.
Mm-hmm.
And why don't we start out with Sara and her still in her comatose state?
Yeah, she's still in that hallway, poor thing.
Yeah.
I mean, she has Lee around, which is at least kind of helping her, he's shepherding her through this whole, because Marley was helping her out initially. Now we have Lee there trying to just reassure her, remind her, but Sara, her line, if you hadn't gone into the building, we'd still be together. In an alternate universe, we would be. I mean, Lee is, taking this all in stride, ghostly.
I need to question that, because weren't they divorced at the time because Lee had cheated on her with
there was that tension. Yeah. I can't remember if they were divorced, but there was definitely the Janice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, I thought that was the whole plot point, because there was contention, because then we found out Liana was actually Lee's daughter.
Yes.
Because I don't think they were living together. So I don't think they were together, because, we knew that Steve and Sara were married. Right. That's been the constant throughout this entire series.
Right. So yeah, there was a little, there could have been a little bit of a retcon happening there.
That's what I'm thinking. There could have been.
Yeah. And if you think about it, primarily we saw Lee in Bay the beginning, but after that, obviously, gets blown up. Don't really hear from the guy again. We never really even see him in like a ghostly sort of form, or really kind of hanging over the show in much capacity, aside from Liana mentioning him, and kind of crashing out over the whole situation.
The first season of The Bay was the first. I think it was like the first season. We saw a lot of flashbacks to him and Sara.
Flashbacks and things, but it really did taper and drop off.
It did.
In terms of mentions about him, even about Brian. Again, what about Brian?
Yep.
But the way that they did, I appreciate that they did manage to, they needed someone to just kind of usher Sara through and reassure her, and to have it be Lee with the Marley connection and everything like that. It does make sense, but they did kind of write them as, I will say too, they did have a beautiful wedding flashback that they showed to, like, I think it was in season 1 when they showed the two of them exchanging vows. And they were a very pretty, lovely couple, but they were definitely making them out to be like a star-crossed lovers, very
Yes.
intertwined. They did have children together though, and they did get married multiple times, but they did really play up that relationship more than they really ever have since the beginning of the show, since
They
season.
did.
So,
And
but
actually, we're
there
gonna
between the two actors, sure. You
Yeah.
could feel that connection that they have. I mean, and Mary Beth Evans is the type that would have chemistry with like a, potted plant.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I thought the two of them definitely had a certain spark. And it was sweet that he was acknowledging the fact too that Lex is in your life now. Lex is your life now. And setting that tone for us.
And as a matter of fact, just thinking about it, we're going to come up with a new shirt, #FreeBrian.
There we go.
Yeah, we're going to go ahead and put that up within the next week or so. #FreeBrian.
Good idea. Yeah. Poor forgotten man.
Yeah.
In jail. But no, he didn't come up in their conversation either. Not that I expected, because it really was just about making sure that Sara knew where she was and where she needed to get back to. I mean, that was the whole primary reason why Lee was there.
Yeah, exactly. And especially the fact they know that Steve set the bomb off. Like,
right.
There's no reason why she should still be in prison.
Oh, absolutely.
He needs a better attorney.
He does. Yes.
All right. Well, we don't have that many attorneys in Bay City outside of since Tobin hit the bricks.
That's true. This is true.
Anyways, moving on. Yeah, Sara and Lee in the hallway, and they were having such a great conversation. Then all of a sudden, Sara hears Sophia saying, "Yes, Lex misses you very much."
Yep.
And
then it kind of turns really dramatic and dark, and the hallway light changes. It goes from like this kind of all of a sudden things just get a little sinister.
Yes.
Because she asks, like, how did Steve get away with it? But then Lee promises that justice will be served, which, the fact that they have Jensen now in custody kind of indicates that,
we'll get there. Yeah.
We'll get there. But in the midst of this freaky red hallway, Sarah's getting haunted, clearly. Now it's take on a sinister thing in her. As a result, we see, her heart rate going up, and Sophia's like cosmic connection to her picking up on everything that's going on. And it looks a little tired.
And who does she see coming through that red door but other than her grandfather, Red Garrett?
Yes. Red, and
former senator, the person that has the curse on this city.
Yep.
And this family.
Got a showdown coming up.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. But I've also I just, because as we're discussing Sara, the little sequence between Lex and Sophia prior to him going to get a little bit of rest and leaving, when I loved that so much. It made me miss those actors so much.
Agreed.
Just in that little sequence, they're just so like funny together, and just even with Tristan Rogers, just like all his expressions at the food.
Mm-hmm.
The nurse comes in there trying to just got the egg whites. I can throw all that up in 30 seconds.
Yeah.
Just like
I love how Sophia's like, could you at least just play along, like you actually like this stuff, because we went out of our way to get it for you.
Right. That poor nurse. He was trying his best. But
and I love how Lex says, I don't act very well. Because Tristan Rogers obviously is a phenomenal actor, and it's very heartbreaking seeing Jackie Zeman and Tristan Rogers in the same scenes in these episodes this season, knowing that they're both gone. Yeah.
It's just such, just so legacy veteran actors that just were so beloved, and just, knowing that they're no longer with us. But it's nice to at least be able to appreciate the scenes that they get, that they had on the bay, that they got to show their stuff, and just even that cute little moment. And I love how Lex, Sophia is very good, her interpretation, that sketch that she was able to pull from Lex's, my goodness, that's some pretty, strong ability right there.
Yeah. Well, and we'll get to that, because there's a couple of things that I have couple of problems with when it comes to the Puerto Rican scenes there. But before we get there, just absolutely amazing with all of the characters there. Again, I'm going to set up something with Gregory Martin relatively soon so we can sit and talk to him, because I want to get into his head about these coma scenes. And now that season 10 has been released, maybe he's got a little bit of downtime, so I'm going to reach out to him and see if we can set something up for in the beginning of the new year.
Yep. No, that would be amazing, just to, get a little insight into the genius at work behind this show and, what makes everything tick. That'd be really, really cool.
Absolutely. All right. Well, moving on, just a couple of quick scenes. We do see that Steve Jensen is in Bay City police custody. He's been extradited.
And singing in his jail cell.
Yeah. Not even in the jail cell, in the interrogation room.
You know what I mean? That was, again, Matthew Ashford, I swear, if anyone else was playing this part, he just, but he's got that charm. He's got that ability to just make you laugh, even though you hate this guy. Gosh, that was funny. When he's just sitting there, just crooning, singing, and some of the lines that he had. My goodness.
Oh, the way that he feels it's good to be home.
And when he's like, "Thank you for keeping Blondie warm for me," the second that he sees Lex,
he is able to get under everybody's skin. The character of Steve Jensen. Now, obviously, I know Matthew Ashford from Days of Our Lives, and I've seen him. I just don't see him a lot. I haven't seen him a lot on there. I know him more from The Bay, and the character of Steve Jensen is he's a very, very traditional heel. And yes, I'm using a wrestling term, because the way that Steve Jensen is, the way that Matthew Ashford is able to do this, is the way that a person like Dominic Mysterio is a fantastic heel in the WWE. And if you want some Dominic Mysterio merchandise, I know how to get it, and you can help us out too.
Ladies and gentlemen, Suds and Squared Circle Media is an official affiliate of WWE Shop. If you want to buy stuff for the new AAA Mega Champion and WWE Intercontinental Champion Dominic Mysterio, or the classic Stone Cold Steve Austin with his Austin 316 merchandise, or merch for Raw is War, SmackDown, or any other WWE show, just go to wrestlingmerch.suds-media.com or scan the QR code for our affiliate link. You can either go to wrestlingmerch.suds-media.com or scan the QR code on the screen, and you'll be taken to WWE Shop using our affiliate link. And anything you buy using our affiliate link, we earn commission.
All right. Yes. Get your, especially for the holidays coming up, get your Dominic Mysterio or any WWE merchandise using our affiliate link, and that helps us out because we get commission on whatever you buy. I would love to see a Steve Jensen shirt in there, because he can really get under the skin, especially of Lex, because he knows what's going on. He's been out of Bay City for years at this point, but he still knows.
And it doesn't matter. He's still able to just pick up right where he left off, find ways to just, dig his heels in and cause chaos and cause trouble. And it was just a quick scene. It wasn't even all that long, but it just set the tone for the character. It's like, here I am again, guys. I'm back and I'm causing trouble. Please direct me to my wife. Maybe she needs a kiss from her handsome prince. And then that just sets Lex off. Poor man. Ugh. Running on no sleep and only a little piece of sausage from his breakfast. And now Steve, he's going through the ringer.
And he's on edge. And quite honestly, I'm glad that there were other cops in there, because Steve Jensen is an international fugitive. He's an international man of crime. I mean, he's gone around the world. He's obviously a flight risk. And I like that there were numerous detectives and people in there to make sure that, nothing really out of the ordinary happened. The only thing I'm surprised about is that Steve didn't call for a lawyer.
True. Maybe he just thinks that he can just talk his way out of anything because he's that arrogant and doesn't need, that protection.
That could be. Absolutely.
Even referencing, you mentioned like the authority figures though, and I appreciated how with again, you know, they it's not like these like, you know, private jets and, you know, millions of dollars just appear out of thin air. The fact that the authorities are still so locked in even to checking up on the private, you know, the flight path and everything for Adam. You know, they brought in that detail again to with this episode too, that like the authorities are, you know, they're after, it's like, we're still grounded in that reality. It's not as if, you know, like a ragtag band of soap heroes are the only ones they can take down. Like, it's like, no, the authorities are involved with this because it involves, you know, private jets that are going off to freaking Puerto Rico. Like, you know, so they do keep it kind of grounded and real in that sense, which is nice. It's not like they're flying invisible planes around or something like that.
Exactly. You're exactly right. With that said, we might as well move on to Adam Kenway, and we see a lot of scenes with him in Puerto Rico. Clearly, he's eating breakfast throughout the entire episode. Like, this is his breakfast time or his lunchtime or whatever it is.
Later on, he says supper, and I got confused. I was just like, what do we have going? Because it looked as if he had the wine and he had what looked like sort of an entree kind of thing going, which later on he references supper. And I'm just like, are you just having like a nice leisurely late dinner, you know, late lunch, early dinner?
Who knows? Either way, it looked good.
Either way, it did, you know, it was a nice spread. And Logan wanted to take part in it and was clearly shut out of that equation.
All right. So now that we're here, and Logan's, you know, Logan is called over to Adam's breakfast table, and, you know, and the way that Adam says, would you like some? And like, Logan's like, well, I thought you never asked. He's like, oh, I just asked if you wanted some, not that you can have some.
Yeah. Oh, no, you don't need for this, friend. No.
Yeah. What a smarmy son of a bitch.
Yeah.
But then, okay, they're in Puerto Rico. How the hell did they get a paper copy, a physical copy of the Bay City newspaper? How?
That is a very good question.
Because and they live in such a remote part of
this is not San Juan. This is El Junque, I think is how you pronounce it.
Whatever it is.
Forgive me, I took Spanish for 8 years, but you know, still it's but I honestly you're kind of in a remote sort of part of Puerto Rico, and yet you still managed to get your hands on this newspaper, which a little too convenient.
The only possibility would be if they have a printer press, you know, a local newspaper printing the Bay City press.
Maybe throw it on. They have it on a phone. Tablet. You have a virtual subscription. You know,
it would have been better had they had it on a tablet. And Adam said, "Look at front page news," and my mother's still alive. How is that possible?
Maybe they were just kind of hearkening back to, like, I don't know, you know, soaps of old where they had, like, you know, printed papers and everything like that. But I don't know. They were trying to be more dramatic. He's sitting there enjoying his, you know, little meal, and he's got the paper in front of him, and he sees this and gets all. But yeah, it would have been made more sense if it had been on a little tablet, just off of phone, scrolling through. Because his finding out, and it's just so funny seeing like the you know, nice little photo and the headline. I mean, that's front page news, you know, for Bay City. Anything involving, you know, Queen Sara and the Garretts. But some of the lines that he had in response, though, to seeing this article that were directed at Logan, what do you call it? Wormless maggot? I don't even know what wormless means, but I like that insult.
Yes. And then you pathetic little Muppet.
Oh, that was great, too. And he yells Muppet. You know, it's not just enough to say Muppet. No, you pathetic, you Muppet. Reminded me of like Gordon Ramsay or something like that.
Yeah. It's...
That's back into his food like nobody's business. You know, he insults this guy, he threatens his life. This guy is and when Logan starts doing the whole, like, you know, begging for, you know, I'll burn off my face, I'll tattoo my face.
Yep.
I won't be recognized. stop begging. It's pathetic. It was kind of pathetic, but I get it. The man's got a pistol aimed at him and he's terrified. So,
yeah. If I didn't know any better, I would have said Christos was British and had a British accent. That's how good it is.
I mean, it definitely it's flawless, and just the fact that he can slip into that character, just you can tell he's like, as I've said before, you can tell he's having fun with it. You can just feel like the glee on his face when he gets to like say these lines and just be like this bad boy and just say all this stuff. And when he calls Tamara Trollop Tam,
Yes.
Yeah. I prefer, if we're gonna do merch, let's do Ninja Tam, not Trollop Tam.
Yeah.
Even though trollop is a good insult, I will say that. Like that again with dimwit, imbecile. He's throwing out all the great insults. Just little monologue, and I love it. But yeah, that's when he kind of he's saying to Logan and everything, Tam will do whatever it takes to protect herself, which is the truth. I mean, she's all about self-preservation, so he's clocked into that. But
because she has no family loyalty.
Right. And he straight up says, though, once we're done with her, dispose of her body, brush up on your target practice, otherwise you'll be my bullseye. So he has no qualms about just making Tam go away once he's through with her.
Yeah. And the thing that got Adam into such a tizzy about pointing the gun in Logan's face is the fact that Sophia did an absolutely perfect sketch of Logan.
True.
From Lex's memory.
I mean,
it's amazing.
Lex, the woman that you love is bleeding out on the rug in front of you, but you still have great recall of the man that, I mean, he is a cop. So, that maybe it just comes with the territory. But yeah that sketch was pretty remarkable, all things considered.
Absolutely.
And but Adam's rightfully concerned because now it's you too much of a dimwit to cover your face. You'll be the reason that they find me.
Mm-hmm.
All roads lead straight to him if he's not careful, and then that led to the whole "you could burn off my face."
Yeah.
Which,
yep.
Yeah, going to extremes. But at that point, he was scared out of his mind. And then, we have this whole, piss off moment. He's telling Logan to go away, like no more second chances. You can't screw this up. And then we have a woman walk up wearing a nice little suit. Amazing how you have everyone quivering. We've never seen her before.
Right.
We come to learn pretty quickly what her identity is in all of this.
She is Adam's stepmother,
yes.
Dr. Kensington. I can't remember the first name.
Belinda,
yes.
I got the first name. I didn't get
not Kensington, Kenway. Belinda Kenway.
Mm-hmm.
Dr. Belinda Kenway. And she's Precious Mays, who's one of the executive producers. So Gregory Martin uses who he has on set already. So there's a lot of actor producers in this show.
Mm-hmm. But she came off as very just... You see her running around with the little girl, and there's also a dog in the scene, and you think, oh, she's there to help. But she definitely gives off a sinister vibe too.
She gives off a sinister vibe, but also there's a very, I don't know if I want to call it inappropriate, but there's a very weird undertone between them and between Adam and Belinda, because we have never met, Mr. Kenway, the father, Adam's adoptive father, or whatever you want to call it. We've never met Sir Thomas Kenway. But at the same time, we see Belinda, and she's almost, I would say, close to the same age as Adam.
Yeah.
Maybe a little older, but...
I mean, I could see it where, we got Sir Thomas, who's like an older, wealthy gentleman. And the young son and the woman that's not too far, stepmother, but could potentially, I mean, we don't know the full scope of that family dynamic, but it's already, we can kind of get a picture painted for us just in that alone. Yes, and we do have it where, part of me, when he was all part of me feels you should be a better, wife, just the wife to my father, all of this. I mean, she is like looking out for him. She's the one who mentions the authorities. She's saying like, are you sure you're not in over your head? Well, you stick to being a doctor. You stick to your doctoring. And then she's and Adam is getting into the territory where,
when she says, "I'm not your mother, I'm your father's wife," and he said, and you can be a better wife, implying some certain sexual stuff, and sexual activities, and maybe he just needs to call Lori.
Are you having problems in the bedroom? Are you having problems with your sex life? Well, I know just who to talk to, and that's Lori. CoachingByLori.com is where you can set up voice, video, or text sessions to talk about sex, to talk about intimacy, kinks, fetishes, taboos, fantasies, or your sexuality. You could talk about coming out and what to expect when you come out. Lori is a sex therapist and talks about your sexual health. Lori's offering all new clients 20% off their first session with the coupon code WELCOME. That's Coaching by Lori, LORIE.com. Coupon code WELCOME, WELCOME, for 20% off your first session.
All right. So obviously at this point, we've gone longer than the actual show itself, the runtime of the show, but we always do.
We always do.
And Adam and Belinda have, like we said, a very weird undertone to their relationship.
It's definitely creepy. Creepy stuff is happening on this island between the mercenaries. We had, and we've got Adam and this whole dynamic now with the doctor, and her just gonna go check on your prisoner. All of this. Yeah. It's like what's going on, but they really just do spell out for us the fact that Viv's in trouble, and this woman, she's a doctor, and making sure that it's good attention to detail that they realize, yes, this woman has just given birth and does need medical attention, and despite resting in what looks like a very comfortable bed in a very comfortable, she has still been through the ringer hormone pregnancy wise and needs to be recuperating in a hospital. Yes. And they don't hesitate to remind Adam of this, but he doesn't.
Well, the other thing is
not a concern.
It's not a concern, and it's very strange with him trying to pretend to be Pete at the very beginning as we see it. So there's a very creepiness to Adam in general. Like, even the original Adam, if you want to call him that, before we found out he was an imposter, when Chad Duell was now, I don't know if Chad Duell's Adam was this Adam and then Christos took over, or it was Chad Duell's Adam, and then the other guy that was.
I think they lifted elements from Chad Duell's Adam.
They definitely did, especially the where he's sitting outside the wall when Pete and Vivian are making love.
Oh, I had forgotten about that. That's all coming back to me. He definitely the creepy tendencies are still played through in this with our current incarnation of Adam. We're still seeing just that sinister sort of mustache twirling villain vibe, but he plays it Christos plays it so well. And the thing is too, even the chemistry between, and this is kind of, and I won't get too into it because we see this primarily in the follow-up, the episode that follows this, but just the chemistry between Christos and, oh my goodness, what is the actress's name who plays Vivian?
Oh, Karuche?
I don't want to mispronounce her name, but their chemistry is still intact, even though he is playing a wildly different character. So it's interesting to see their dynamic when, the chemistry between those two actors is still off the charts, regardless of which version.
What amazes me, even taking a step away from the characters of the Bay, Christos and Karuche, whatever her name, forgive me for mispronouncing it, Karuche, whatever. They started their careers as models.
Right.
So they weren't even actors, like growing up in the business. I don't know what they did, plays or school or whatever, but they're both models. They both started as models, and they have tremendous chemistry. Christos could act his ass out of a bag. Like, that's how fantastic he is.
It's true. And Vivian just being able, this is not to say we haven't seen Vivian in precarious situations before.
Right.
This is like the first time we've really kind of seen her not in scenes on her own, but really just in these, like, you know, and she is just, I mean, she's feisty, she's fiery still, but she's vulnerable. We're seeing every side. We're seeing like this character more fleshed out than I feel like we have especially because like there was that period of time when she wasn't even on canvas.
Right.
So kind of have her back in this capacity and just being able to show, I want to see my son. I'm like, you know, just everything, her drive to get back to Pete and wanting to see her baby and also recuperating and also being terrified. I mean, she's playing all these different facets of this character right now. And she's doing some remarkable work. Some of just great scenes from her.
And we will get into that next week as we go on to the next episode next week, which will be Christmas Day. So we will still have a show on Christmas Day. It'll be pre-recorded. So if you're tired of having dinner with family or opening presents, at 12 noon, you can turn on Dockside at the Bay and you will have a brand new episode.
A little Christmas present, a little stocking stuffer for you.
Yes, and we'll make sure to dress up as Christmas elves or something or other.
Hey, I got some reindeer ears kicking somewhere. We'll be festive.
I've got a Santa hat. And you can get a Santa hat with our logo on it from our merch shop, which is merch.suds-media.com. You can also get one of these cute little cuddle buddies, and they are on our merch shop as well. Again, merch.suds-media.com. And remember, folks, if you order a doggy cuddle buddy or a doggy bandana, which is actually the same as a human bandana, but if you get the doggy bandana,
okay,
and it's listed as doggy bandana, the proceeds from those sales will go directly towards Samantha's Friends to help rehome and train service dogs for first responders and veterans. So again, that's the dog cuddle buddy or the doggy bandana. If those sell, those proceeds go directly to Samantha's Friends. But also, folks, I do want to let you know there is a button that you can press on YouTube if you're watching us, suds-media.com. You can go ahead and click that button for a super chat or a super thanks. And any proceeds will go towards helping the show and supporting the show. So go ahead and check it out. It's a little box with a $sign in it. It's a super chat or a super thanks or I think a super sticker as well. You have that option to help support the show. So go ahead and take that option up as we move into 2026. And speaking of 2026, there's a lot of new programming coming up and a lot of new content coming up for the new year. Some more promotions. As mentioned on Suds News this last Monday, starting in January, Angela and I are going to be debuting a new weekly series called the Pop Culture Time Machine, where we look at something from prior to 2000, whether it's a music video or a movie or an episode of a series. And we'll be talking about that every week, a different option there, a different offering there. And once a month is going to be the spinoff, Pop Culture Time Machine Blind Spot, where we watch something that one or both of us have not seen. And the first episode of that will be focused on Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure, because I have never seen that. And also coming up in the new year will be a hybrid podcast / video game podcast with WWE 2K simulated matches coming up in terms of fantasy matches that couldn't happen because of era differences or company or territory. So look out for that. We'll be doing a roundtable style show regarding those fantasy matches, and then switching over to the actual simulated match using WWE 2K25. So a lot of new stuff coming up in 2026.
Very exciting.
Yes, a lot of exciting stuff, and that Pop Culture Time Machine is not just going to be Angela and I. It's going to be a lot of different people rotating in and out. My wife may be on it. Kim may be on it.
Oh, I hope to be on it. That sounds like a lot of fun.
So, a lot of new stuff coming up in 2026, folks, because we've only got a couple weeks away. A couple weeks left in 2025. I can't believe how fast time is going.
Oh my gosh, it's craziness. Absolute craziness.
All right, but anyways, I think we've covered just about everything in this episode.
We kind of left out, and we did have that scene with Jack and with Evan, which took place.
Oh yeah.
And we also had, if we want to talk just, heartbreaking standout sort of moments at the top of the episode, we did have the sequence of Caleb leaving Daniel's little voicemail.
Oh yeah.
Which, I mean, Mike Manning, you broke my heart, man. I mean, it's, even having seen this episode previously, when he's, talking to him on the phone, leaving him a message, knowing full well that Daniel's still, missing and he is unable to locate him, is saying we have to get a dog. We said we would. I mean, we got a shout out to Moby too.
Yes.
Kind of forgotten about, but he clarifies, Moby's not our dog. We said we'd get our own dog. It just, oof. And then just his crashing out in the shower and just, collapsing in tears was just absolutely devastating.
It really was. I agree. And got to give him credit. Strategically placed steam and water to cover up the naughty bits on Mike Manning.
Posing, just, yeah. And I don't know. They're in a hotel, granted, and hotels, I still have a thing, though, about, I don't know if I'd necessarily want to be collapsing onto a hotel. Unless, there was no choice in the matter. It wouldn't be my first choice to, as a crash out spot, would be a shower.
Yeah, I get that.
But I will,
right.
Yeah.
Right. We did skip over the Jack and Evan scene, and
yeah, that was
very heartbreaking for Jack.
He's just wanting to spend some time with his grandson. But you have Evan, obviously he's in, DA, interrogation, legal mode, trying to figure out Tamara's situation, trying to figure out he's trying to process everything that's going on by throwing himself into work the best he can from a hospital bed. But you have Jack, who's just there wanting and Evan saying, he doesn't want his sympathy, because even though Damien is dead, I wasn't even getting sympathy from you, when he was alive. I mean, He really just lets Jack have it. But Jack is just sitting there just apologetic and wanting to just make amends the best he can. Circumstances kept me out of your lives. And we get another reminder to Bay the beginning too, with the whole, or early Bay at least.
Yeah.
When kind of get to see the whole, you broke apart our family, don't you remember?
Yep.
Now, it wasn't Bay the beginning, but it was flashback Bay.
Yep, it was season 2 or season 3 when Jack had his heart attack. When he was shot by John Blackwell.
Right. But we got to see that whole backstory play out with, just that whole scenario. And so flashing onto that history, just really well done. It was a short scene, but just tying in all that history, knowing full well that, Evan's in pain, but just isn't prepared to accept, his grandfather just coming in and, thought we could get past it, the sympathy visit. And then Jack's all, well, would you have a little sympathy for a little old man, or whatever that line was? Just oh. So
no, it was a very heartbreaking scene.
And even when, sorry, I didn't mean to speak over, even when Evan says, you were the one who ID'd Damien's body. And then he asks, in that vulnerable sort of, did he suffer? Did he die in pain?
Right.
And his response, he was beyond earthly pain, which just, that sums it up, I guess. But it was just, such a devastating, little moment there between those two.
It was. And it I like how this scene plays out two important things that people process tragedies under. Either A, you're like Jack and you want to kind of bring your family, your loved ones closer together because there's been too much distance for whatever reason, no matter whose fault it is.
Right.
Or the other side of it is Evan, where it's like a tragedy struck and now I want answers. I want to get to the bottom of this. I want to find out what's going on. So it's the contrast of how people handle tragedy and trauma. And this scene perfectly showed both sides of it.
Yes. No, absolutely. Absolutely. And it's just, it ties back to, I enjoyed how they just, because Jack was obviously, they alluded that he was there for Sara, but we did get that whole scene, with Evan just tying in the fact that these families are so intertwined, which reminds me, we still got to do that. I still got to do that freaking family tree. That'll be my New Year's resolution.
Yeah, because I was thinking about it today, and Evan and Tamara being together, but then you think about, well, Jack is Sarah's father. Jack is John's father. John is Evan's father. Sara is Tamara's aunt. There's some family connections there.
Oh yeah.
We don't know how many degrees of separation, but that's something we'll have to look at.
Yeah.
It might be illegal in 5 or 6 states. Possibly
so, but not in Bay City, clearly.
Right. All right, folks, we've covered everything on this episode. Again, our runtime is almost double that of the actual show, but it's been so juicy lately. And again, if you're searching out for The Bay, start with The Bay at the beginning. That's only on Amazon Prime Video. And then if you want to watch The Bay itself, seasons 1 through 6 are on Peacock. 1 through 8 are on Prime Video. And the whole series is on Tubi and Popstar On Demand. And then now season 10 is playing daily on Popstar TV. Yes. So there's a bunch of different places to find it. You have no excuse to not be binging The Bay at this point.
Very true.
And Kim, where can everybody find you?
So I am Misfit8690 on Twitter and a Little Misfit 52 on YouTube. Feel free to follow me on either of those platforms and chat with me about soaps or whatever strikes your fancy.
All right. And folks, I am at Vinny Suds on Twitter and Facebook. At Suds Media is the Twitter account for the network, which is what I normally use. I don't always switch back and forth. On Instagram and Threads is at Suds in Squared Circle. On TikTok, it's at Suds_media. But I'm also on Cameo now. So you can look up Vinny Suds on Cameo, and you can order me reaching out to you, sending you a video to maybe if you want me to sing, a Christmas song, a Christmas carol, I'll do that. Sing happy birthday, wish your loved one happy birthday, or if you want to get some news from the soaps or WWE World or Real American Freestyle as well, I could do a short blurb on that. But either way, look up Vinny Suds on Cameo and book me for, to send you a personalized video. Or, as always, go to suds-media.com, which brings you to our YouTube channel. Hit that like button for the videos, subscribe, and turn on the notification bell. You can see some of our merch right on our YouTube channel. And also, you can give us those super chats, super thanks, and super stickers that support the show. So, anyways, for Kim, I'm Vinny. We'll see you next week as we go Dockside at the Bay. Have a great night, everybody.
Take care, everybody.